What if a single invention, born from a deeply personal quest, could connect the entire world, forever transforming how humanity communicates? This is the extraordinary tale of Alexander Graham Bell, a man who didn't just invent the telephone, but gave humanity a voice across distances, turning a simple idea into one of the most powerful inventions in human history. His obsession with sound and communication forever changed the way we live, talk, and connect. Alexander Graham Bell's journey wasn't initially about business or fame. It began with something far more profound and personal. The profound silence that enveloped his mother, who was deaf, and later his beloved wife Mabel, fueled an unyielding drive within him. This personal tragedy ignited a relentless pursuit to bridge the chasm of silence, to find a way for voices to transcend the barrier of hearing loss, and ultimately, to connect souls. Born into a family steeped in the art of elocution and speech, Bell's destiny seemed intertwined with the spoken word. His grandfather and father were renowned speech experts, their lives dedicated to the nuances of articulation. From a tender age, Bell found himself captivated by sound and acoustics, spending countless hours experimenting with speaking machines, his young mind already grappling with the mechanics of vocal production. Witnessing his mother's struggle with deafness, however, instilled in him a profound sense of purpose, transforming his intellectual curiosity into a fervent mission. Seeking new opportunities and a healthier climate due to family illness, Bell made the pivotal move to America. He arrived in Boston, a burgeoning hub of scientific innovation and intellectual discourse, a city ripe for discovery. Here, he continued his work teaching the deaf, further deepening his understanding of speech and hearing, an experience that would prove invaluable to his future endeavors. His unique insight began to form. The human voice was not merely a series of sounds, but a complex, vibrating wave, capable of being translated and transmitted. This understanding set him apart. Bell's early experiments focused on harmonic telegraphy, an ambitious concept of sending multiple messages over a single wire. However, his peers, many of whom saw him primarily as a speech teacher, often met his inventive theories with skepticism. They failed to grasp the magnitude of his vision, dismissing his forays into electrical communication as a distraction from his established profession. During this period, two key figures entered his life, destined to play pivotal roles. Gardner Greene Hubbard, a prominent lawyer, recognized Bell's potential, seeing beyond the limitations of telegraphy. Hubbard's daughter, Mabel, also deaf, would later become Bell's wife and a constant source of inspiration. Then there was Thomas Sanders, a wealthy businessman whose deaf son was one of Bell's students. Sanders, deeply impressed by Bell's dedication, provided crucial financial backing, allowing the inventor to continue his tireless work. Their combined support enabled Bell to establish a cramped, often chaotic workshop, a crucible of late nights and relentless experimentation. Financial strain was a constant companion, and the pressure from his investors to produce tangible results weighed heavily. He found himself in a perpetual battle, torn between his profound passion for teaching the deaf and the demanding, all-consuming pursuit of his inventive dreams. Unbeknownst to Bell, he was not alone in this race. Elisha Gray and Antonio Mucci were also on the cusp of similar discoveries, their own workshops buzzing with the same urgent pursuit. The race to transmit human speech was heating up, creating an undercurrent of intense urgency and fierce competition. Then a small, unexpected breakthrough occurred during one of his harmonic telegraph experiments. It was a mere glimmer, a faint signal, but it hinted at the possibility of transmitting voice, reigniting Bell's hope and solidifying his unwavering commitment to his revolutionary quest. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The glimmer of hope, however faint, only intensified the mounting pressure that weighed heavily on Alexander Graham Bell. His investors, Gardner Green Hubbard and Thomas Sanders, grew increasingly impatient, their financial contributions demanding a functional harmonic telegraph, not the abstract. Seemingly endless experiments with voice transmission that consumed Bell's every waking moment. He felt perpetually torn, caught between the immediate financial demands of his backers and the profound, revolutionary vision that burned within him. The relentless overwork and immense stress began to take a visible toll, his health deteriorating under the weight of expectation and his own boundless ambition. It was during this critical period that a pivotal figure entered Bell's chaotic workshop, Thomas A. Watson. A skilled electrician and mechanic, Watson's practical acumen proved to be the perfect complement to Bell's theoretical genius. Their partnership quickly became indispensable, transforming the cramped space into a vibrant crucible of innovation. Wires snaked across benches, batteries hummed with electrical potential, and the air thrummed with the constant energy of relentless experimentation. Watson's hands-on expertise often translated Bell's complex ideas into tangible apparatus, bridging the gap between concept and reality. Bell's profound understanding of the human ear, honed by years of observing his deaf mother and working with deaf students, provided him with a unique and crucial insight. He envisioned the potential of a vibrating membrane, much like the eardrum, to mimic the intricate process of hearing, transforming sound waves into electrical signals. This was a pivotal conceptual leap, a brilliant differentiation from the approaches of his rivals, Elisha Gray and Antonio Meucci, who focused more on existing telegraphic principles. Bell saw the ear not just as an organ of reception, but as a model for transmission. Then came the accidental discovery, a moment forever etched into the annals of invention. On June 2, 1875, while Bell and Watson were diligently working on the harmonic telegraph, a small incident sparked a monumental realization. Watson, in another room, accidentally plucked a steel reed. To his astonishment, Bell, connected by the experimental wire, distinctly heard the metallic twang resonate through the apparatus. It was not a voice, but the unmistakable transmission of a complex sound, proving beyond doubt the principle he had theorized. This was the eureka moment, a flash of insight that ignited a furious new direction. With renewed vigor and an almost feverish intensity, Bell and Watson shifted their entire focus to the voice telegraph. The workshop became a scene of ceaseless activity, marked by long hours, countless failures, and moments of profound despair that tested their resolve. Translating that accidental twang into clear, intelligible human speech proved to be an immense challenge, a painstaking process of trial and error, refinement, and redesign. Finally, on March 10, 1876, the iconic moment arrived. Bell, caught in a moment of distraction, accidentally spilled acid on himself. Instinctively, he called out through the device they had painstakingly assembled, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." In the adjacent room, Watson heard Bell's words clearly, distinctly, through the receiver. It was the first successful transmission of intelligible human speech, a triumph that brought profound disbelief and exhilaration to both men. The impossible had been achieved. The race against time, however, was far from over. Just hours before Elisha Gray filed his caveat for a similar device, Bell's lawyer submitted his patent application. The tension and drama within the patent office were palpable, a race against the clock decided by mere minutes. On March 7, 1876, Bell was officially granted U.S. Patent number 174, 465 for the telephone, securing his claim to one of history's most transformative inventions. Despite this monumental achievement, the invention was initially met with a mix of awe and profound skepticism. Many considered it a mere novelty, an expensive toy with little practical application. Bell faced ridicule and doubt from established scientists and powerful telegraph companies who saw no threat in his talking toy. His public demonstrations, though imperfect, slowly began to win over audiences, chipping away at the pervasive disbelief. The true turning point came at the 1876 Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia. Bell's dramatic presentation of the telephone captivated onlookers. Among them were Emperor Dom Pedro II of Brazil and the influential scientist Sir William Thomson, both of whom were profoundly impressed. The emperor famously exclaimed, "My God, it talks!" Their enthusiastic endorsements finally compelled the world to take serious notice. The novelty was beginning to transform into a revolution. The novelty, once doubted and dismissed, rapidly transformed into a revolutionary communication tool, giving birth to an entirely new industry. The Bell Telephone Company, which would eventually evolve into the colossal AT&T, was formed, ushering in an era of unprecedented expansion. Telephone lines began to snake across cities, then bridge vast distances between continents, shrinking the world in ways previously unimaginable. Bell, in a moment that would become legendary, had even offered to sell his patent to Western Union for a mere $100, only to be famously rebuffed, the telegraph giant dismissing his invention as nothing more than a toy. This short-sighted decision would haunt them for decades. Yet, this triumph was not without its trials. Bell found himself embroiled in what would become known as the patent wars, facing hundreds of lawsuits, primarily from Elisha Gray and the formidable Western Union. Accusations of stolen ideas and patent infringement swirled around him, casting a long shadow over his monumental achievement. The immense legal and emotional toll on Bell and his fledgling company was staggering. Courtrooms became battlegrounds where the very legitimacy of his invention was fiercely challenged, each hearing a dramatic test of his integrity and originality. Through it all, Bell remained resolute, consistently winning the protracted patent battles. The courts, time and again, recognized the uniqueness and originality of his work, solidifying his claim as the true inventor of the telephone. His persistence and unwavering integrity ultimately prevailed against the powerful corporate interests that sought to undermine him. Justice, in this instance, sided with the visionary. But Bell's restless intellect was not confined solely to the telephone. His insatiable curiosity and lifelong fascination with sound propelled him into other inventive pursuits. He developed the photophone, an ingenious device capable of transmitting speech on a beam of light, a precursor to fiber optics. He created the audiometer, designed to detect hearing problems, further demonstrating his enduring commitment to those with hearing impairments. He also made significant improvements to the phonograph, refining Edison's groundbreaking invention. His work with the deaf community never ceased. He founded the American Association to promote the teaching of speech to the deaf, dedicating a significant portion of his life and resources to their education and integration. He became a respected mentor and philanthropist, generously funding scientific endeavors and inspiring a new generation of innovators. Throughout this whirlwind of invention and legal battles, his enduring love and partnership with Mabel Hubbard remained his unwavering anchor. She was not just his wife, but his confidant, his muse, and his most steadfast supporter, her own deafness a constant, poignant reminder of the personal genesis of his life's work. The personal sacrifices made for his scientific pursuits were immense, but his commitment to his family, despite the relentless demands of his public life, remained paramount. Bell, however, often struggled with the weight of fame and the narrow public perception that defined him solely as the inventor of the telephone, sometimes overshadowing his other profound contributions to science and human welfare. The debates about the priority of invention, fueled by rivals and historians, lingered for decades, a persistent echo of the fierce competition that had defined the birth of the telephone. Nevertheless, the global impact of his creation was undeniable and transformative. The telephone fundamentally reshaped society, revolutionizing business, fostering personal relationships across vast distances, and enabling emergency services to respond with unprecedented speed. It shrank distances and connected people in ways that had been previously unimaginable. The profound irony was not lost on Bell. An invention born from a deeply personal desire to overcome the silence of deafness ultimately gave a voice to the entire world. When Alexander Graham Bell passed away in 1922, his death was marked by a poignant and unprecedented tribute. The entire North American telephone system fell silent for 1 minute, a collective moment of reverence for the man who had connected them all. His legacy endures as a visionary, driven by a profound sense of purpose and an unyielding persistence. The profound and lasting impact of his work on modern communication is immeasurable, paving the way for every subsequent technological leap, from radio to the internet. His story stands as a powerful testament to the transformative power of one individual's obsession to truly change the world, echoing across time and space, forever giving humanity a voice across distances.